Hi, my name is Sydney Collier, and I have Wyburn-Mason Syndrome. But first and foremost, I am just a 21-year-old equestrian. And you're probably wondering, what is Wyburn-Mason Syndrome? Because not very many people have even heard of it. In a nutshell, it's basically when a baby is born with tumors called AVMs, which are basically vascular tumors with very high risk of bleeds. And I actually got diagnosed totally by chance at the age of 7. Um, Wyburn Mason is so rare that less than 1,000 people on Earth even have it diagnosed, and it's mainly diagnosed after a massive bleed and the person passes away, unfortunately. So I got very lucky to even be diagnosed when I was 7, and I was really lucky that at the age of 7, at the same time I got diagnosed, I also had found my true passion at that point already, which was riding horses. And the moment I sat on a horse, I knew this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And I actually started out as an eventer. And my goal at that point, at 7 years old, was to make it onto the team for the able bodied Olympics in eventing. And my parents, being the ever so supportive family that they are, they're like, yeah, we're going to help you make this happen. And they knew that I always had big goals and big dreams, and were always super supportive. And then, actually, my experimental treatment in California ended up, when I was 11, causing me to have a stroke during brain surgery. And at this point, I basically ended up feeling very discouraged. I was thinking to myself, well, great, what happens now? And then I was very lucky to get to go and watch the sport of paradressage going on at the World Equestrian Games in 2010 in
Alert
Kentucky.
from your disk is almost
And sorry about that, my adaptive settings on my computer. But I basically was able to watch my these athletes, basically people I looked up to, and my counterpoints or my counterparts in the ring, just doing so amazingly and riding at the top level of the sport. And I was in awe, and I basically had a moment like something out of a movie where I realized, even though I had a stroke, I could do this too. And at that point, I was 12 years old, and I went home and I told my parents, all right, we're going to reshift away from eventing and show jumping, and I want to focus on paradressage because I saw the beauty in the sport, and I saw the partnership between the rider and the horse, and I saw myself in all of these riders, and I thought, if they can do it, so can I. So at that point, I set the goal for myself to represent the USA in the World Equestrian Games in 2014, the next World Equestrian Games, and the next Paralympics. I never set my goals low at all, and I set out to do it, and I'm very happy to report that I have accomplished that goal, and I have been able to make that happen. And with the help of my family and sponsors and so many amazing people along the way who have supported me in my goals. And right now, I am at the point in my career where I want to start doing even more public outreach, and I want to help break down these invisible barriers that exist between people with physical disabilities like myself and able bodied people. And I want to help get rid of this negative connotation that comes with being physically disabled or disabled in general. I want to help people see that there's nothing wrong with it and that there's nothing to be scared of or negative about in everyday life. And I want to do this on a global scale with my story. I want to help people to see that if I can accomplish these big things and aim for Tokyo next year as well and going for the gold there, then any person can accomplish whatever they want to. I really want to use my story to empower others and to spread a positive message in a world that so often positivity can get lost in. Thank you so much for listening to my story. I look forward to being in touch.